Welcome to another beautiful day on this planet that we are blessed to have, and another day of Dose of Did You Know, where intriguing, inspiring, unique individuals come to talk about love and life and how it has brought them through their journey to right now today. I am your host, Danny Rocco, and with me all the way from, I don't really know, like the Vancouver area, because he said it, and then I was like, blonde moment. I'm like, where? All I heard was Vancouver. I know that location. Didn't know anything else he talked about. But Mr. Marshall Potts, how are you today?
I'm great, Danny. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. And I was saying how I love Vancouver. Been there once, ate dinner on a rooftop and like overlooked the water. It was fantastic. I wish I knew the name. Can't tell you.
It's I don't know either, but it's a beautiful city.
Who knows? But before we get started, let's tell the world a little bit about who you are. Tell us.
Who I am. You know, I watched some of your other podcasts and I thought that's a really big question if you think about it.
It is. It's loaded. I've got lots of loaded ones sometimes.
Yeah, and I saw, oh, she does it every time because it really is. It's much bigger than it sounds. Mm-hmm. Like, who am I?
Like, it's fun how people respond to it. Some people are very factual. Some people go into a tangent of actually like their spiritual. I love it. So well, how do you answer it?
I'm a Leo, so for me, I go to a bigger definition. So I'll try to start there.
Okay.
Because to me, it's like, who am I? Well, who am I really? Am I the voice in my head? No, I'm not the voice in my head. I'm the person listening to the voice in my head.
But where does the voice come from?
Right. Well, I think that the mind, I think for me, because I spent a lot of years trying to quiet that voice in my head, because it gets in the way of the connection between your heart and your mind. And when we live just in the mind, we make way more mistakes when we live inside the heart space. And if there's a communication that's alive, right? Then you make better decisions that are more inspired by your passion, or that can enable you to be on your path. I think when we think outside of ourselves, we lose touch of who we are. So who am I? I'm the thing inside of me. I'm the soul, and I'm trying to figure this stuff out all the time. Okay. So I am a wanderer.
Yeah.
I'm a searcher. I'm a truth seeker. I'm a creation of love. I'm a student and a teacher. And in this moment, I'm Marshall Potts, who lives in Kamloops, B.C., Canada, on 160 acres with my childhood sweetheart, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a bunch of chickens.
Out in the woods. Being who you are. Oh, and you have this passion, I'm assuming it's a passion, and tell me if I'm wrong, of music. You have a gift. Maybe it's a gift that turned into a passion. Maybe it's the passion. Maybe it's a gift you feel the service. Where's that come from?
I think service is service to others with love for the benefit of all. That is.
So I heard that you were going to be like a good interview through this grapevine that I have, that you have like great thoughts, and I'm loving it because I try so hard to lead with love. Like that is like, this is not how my story is going to end, right? I want to live in my truth and lead with love. And it is people are like, oh, that's so easy. Just lead with love. No, it's not, because it's not always the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah, that's your heart space.
Yeah. So you tell me, when you like have that lead with love and that mind, where's that balance for you? Because there has to be some sort of balance in there.
Oh, that kind of stumped me. Look, every morning I wake up, I say, I choose love, I choose love, I choose love. I say everything in threes. I focus on love in that space. I try to, and then I pray all the time. I'm driving, I'm praying, and then when I'm not praying, I try to meditate and quiet my mind, right?
Yeah.
I try to be aware and stay in the moment as much as possible, because for me, if I don't do that, then the voice in my head gets a little louder, and And then you can have self-doubt, you know, you get self-doubt, and that voice, would you be best friends with the voice in your head? Probably not, most people, right?
No, because she's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the crazy person in the room. And if you were here, I'm always like, you guys never want to know what's going on in here. Like,
yeah, no. And you know, and then so we all walk around like that, right? We go like, nobody knows I'm crazy. Nobody knows there's a voice in my head that's saying all sorts of mean things to me sometimes, right? You're not good enough. You can't do it. You know, whatever your issues are, type thing. So, you know, I don't think I answered your question very well, but yeah, I try to stay in the love space too, because it's a quiet place and I feel comfortable in there, right? And I've worked really hard, you know, at trying to control my emotions. And the only way to do that for me was to do it. I call it a trip inside. So I had to go back in time, and I had to sit with myself and say, okay, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to take my OCD brain, okay, the same brain that wants to be creative and really just work on things. And I turned it inside. And then I spent a lot of time going back to like my worst nightmare, or like things that happened even as a kid. You know? I peed my pants in grade 1, you know, and that's a scar, right? So then I felt bad about myself, and then that can create a pattern later on that's not good enough or whatever. That's just one little example. I'm not going to tell you it all.
Then we'd really know. Then we'd really know what's going on. Yeah. But isn't it funny? Yeah, you kind of did. Well, or at least my interpretation of my question is you have to realize your craziness, actually, or whatever you want to call it. That's like my simplistic word for like the crazy girl in my head. You have to realize that it's not true.
Yeah.
That it's just based off of patterns and habits that have manifested, and you have grown into this. So I think finding that balance for me, and what I heard from you, is just like understanding the truth, right? Like being your truth is knowing that you're going to have these things. They're not the actual reality. They're just an evolution of a story that you have created.
I love it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Right? If you always think like think of that first grade story you told me, or I have like plenty of my own. Yeah. I'm looking at it from a 6-year-old's mind. Like you're what, 6 in first grade? Yeah. And then that 6-year-old mind turns into like a 43-year-old's mind. Like I'm 43. Yeah. And I'm still not thinking as a 6-year-old. So along that way, this story has become this huge thing that probably at 6, you were like, shoot, I'm embarrassed, ick. But then that 6-year-old and 25-day version came in. Ooh, is that going to happen again? Because I kind of feel like I got to go to the bathroom and I'm nervous. You know, and then that 7-year-old and 10-day comes and be like, oh gosh, I'm just in the room and now I'm nervous and now I have to pee. And right, so it's like evolved into this crazy ass story and now you're 43 and you've never dealt with it. And anytime you get in front of somebody, you close up and you can't talk.
Yeah, it's like, who are you? You're the combination of every experience you ever had, and you have to keep the good ones because they create good patterns in your life, and discard and be like a pattern breaker for negative experience. So you have to go back to the initial one, like go back inside. You got to comfort the inner child, okay, the 6-year-old me, and that's what I did. I said, hey, it's okay, you know, and then I try to assign a positive thing to it. Well, it was humbling and, whatever, I try to assign some kind of positive to it.
Yeah.
And then in life, when these things come back up, you may have to do it 10, 20 times where you have that moment and then sit back and comfort the experience and then let it go. Because we store all this stuff in our cells. We store it in our bodies. And for some people, when they can't get rid of it, it changes your posture. You look different, right? So depending on the severity of your experience, you have to even work even harder to get rid of that stuff. Right? But it's I say, like, look, we got one job. People say, what's my passion in life? What am I here for? I think we've got one job, and it's to clean up our mess inside ourselves. We may not, and most of the time it's not our fault, right? its upbringing, and it was something, a bully, somebody else came along and just kind of threw you off your path. But our job is to kind of clean that mess up, comfort ourselves, like take back our power, because we give it up when this happens. Right?
Yes.
Take back our power, and then love. I mean, I say there's two energies. There's love and there's fear. Which one are you going to embrace? And it's your choice in every moment. Which one do you want to embrace? Fear has a myriad of other emotions and things under it. Hate, war, you name it. Just being a terrible human being when you live in fear.
Yeah.
And it's not your fault. You're just in that space. Well, it is your fault. You got to take responsibility. And then you got to figure out, okay, why is my reaction like this? And then with love, and like you say, leading with love, and trying to just always feel like that. And it sounds really like what's the word, woohoo, or what I mean, like,
yeah.
Let's all love each other. But okay, just think of it as a frequency, like a radio station. Which one are you going to tune into? This one has way better music. This fear one, it makes you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would have that gauge, right? Because there's there can be that confusion between that love and fear. And like, I'm always like, anything that makes you feel like icky is probably not coming from love. Even if the action or the words come across as love, right? It's kind of just this icky ball with like a pretty face over it is really what it is. So if you ever get that like kind of you're probably not leading with love, even if it looks pretty. It's like that, I'm going to say a guy, but it's like that guy that you're like, oh my God, they are so good looking. I could never talk to them. And then you talk to him for 3 minutes and you're like, you are the ugliest person I've ever seen. Like, what the hell was I thinking there?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's that like good version, because sometimes I had to learn that of, I think I was leading with false love for a long time. Like, I thought I was leading with love. It looked like it, but what was driving me was not actually coming from me, right? It was like I had to be the good Italian daughter. I had to run this company. I had to do all these things for whatever reason.
Things,
yeah, and they were all good, but it wasn't like me leading with love. It was me leading with my obligation, my family obligation that I thought I had.
Yeah, life is hard. It can be brutal. And if we don't learn, and you hear this stuff too, you've got to love yourself, got to love yourself. Yeah, you do, because if you don't, who is going to? I mean, you have to be comfortable with yourself and say, hey, I know that there's one thing that's guaranteed. We're all going to die at some point. And what do you want your legacy to be? And how do you want to spend the rest of your life? Right? And at any age, if you can do this, I'm older. If I could have done this when I was 18, this would have been great. Yeah. So, I mean, this whole new album that I'm doing is about this journey, and it's about, the lyrics are about, the trip inside and how to heal yourself and taking back your power, and, within the scope of my subjective experience, because there's no objectivity in life. It's all about you.
Yeah.
Like you, and we forget that. So when we live outside of ourselves, we forget who we are. And we forget that, hey, wait a second here. I came here for a reason. What is the reason? And get back to the gift thing. Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter, and I have been since I was 12, when my childhood sweetheart, who's now with me, broke my heart. So my heart broke open, and I was already into music, listening to music, taught myself how to play guitar. So at 12, I wrote my first song because of that, and I haven't stopped writing since. So that's the other secret. Embrace your broken heart. Embrace the pain, like embrace your fears, embrace your tears, right? Because those things make us who we are, and it's how we recover from them that's important, and it's part of our story, and that's a success story then. Okay?
Yeah.
So when we feel like we're victims, you can't play the victim card. You can't do it. You've got to be the survivor. And then you've got to be the hero of your own story. And you don't have to do anything big. You just have to know who you are. And you know, people search for what's my passion. You know, I don't do music. I'm not a dancer. I don't. No, it's not about that. It really isn't. My story's the same as everybody else's story. I happen to do it with music, and I'm very fortunate. I feel very blessed that I can tune in. I can tune in songs. I feel like they're already written, and then I just I tune them. I hear them, and then it comes in usually in music, and then I know what the chords are going to be, and then I have the melody in my head, and sometimes I have the words right away, and sometimes it's words and just melody, and you know. I like to say I like to be stream of thought. I don't want to think about writing. I just want it to come in, and then I think I'm supposed to share it.
Yeah,
you know, that's the kind of thing. And if I'm in my ego space and not my heart space, I'm going to mess up the message.
right.
Right, because of all those things we talk, all the scars that you have and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, now I'm just curious. How did this beautiful woman go from breaking your heart to now? I mean, I know she's there. I've heard her voice. She sounds amazing. I can just feel it, and all the love there. Like, what is that story? Because
well,
I don't know.
Well, you only how we got an hour? Okay.
You give me the Cliff Note version.
Okay, maybe real quick. Okay. Cliff Notes. You know, we moved schools when I was young. I was in a small town called Matsqui. And we moved from Mission, Hatsick at the time, which is the same thing. Go Mission, go Hatsick, go Matsqui. And then it was grade 6, I believe, grade 6. And I had this feeling because I was always in touch. I found myself, even as a young kid, I used to do forms of meditation. I didn't even know I was doing it. Now, when I look back, I see I was doing it.
Yeah.
I used to imagine I was in a white room, and it was all white, and I just sit in that room, nothing, just sit in that room. And so I still had this connection, I think, with my heart. And I walked in there and I thought, this can be my girlfriend. And then my twin brother and I we were late, and we were the last ones to join the class. There was only seats at the back, and I walked down the road. And I look to my left, and I see this girl with this haircut that I wouldn't have picked. And I thought, there she is, right? There she is. That was the intuition I had. And then I just longed to be with her, even at that age. And it's a very innocent love thing. I mean, because I was only 11 and she was 10. And then we ended up dating, you know, in school. When she was 11, I was 12 in grade 7. And, you know, we had that summer before we go into high school. And, you know, we just, you know, we're too young to be together, whatever happened. And it's a blessing. The blessing, she broke my heart. So, you know, I found the positive in that. And I found it before she ever came back into my life. Right. So I went through that. And I had a couple of divorces. You know, I have amazing kids. I had a lot of heartache. I donated a kidney. I got real sick. You know, I did a lot of stuff. And then it brought me to the place where I was wondering, why do I have trust issues? Why, you know, why do I feel like people are coming to my life and they're always kind of screwing me or in that sort of thing? Well, I recognized the pattern. I'm going to I call it waking up. So in 2013 in January, I just had all these epiphanies about life and things, right? And then I went and did the trip inside, and I tried to cut ties every time to this old memory, you know, because we weren't in contact or anything. And I found I couldn't. Everything else I could do, but that one I just couldn't quite do. It was okay. I embraced it. I'll say, okay, fine. That's just love. You know, you just move on.
Right.
And as the fates would have it, you know, as you heal yourself, you heal the world around you. Right. I say, heal yourself, heal the world. Save yourself, save the world. I for years, I thought, oh, I'm going to use my music as a young man. I'm going to use my music to save the world and make a difference. Right. And I hope that is what happens. At the same time, it really couldn't happen until I took the time to heal my own wounds and scars.
Right.
And then now it's a much smoother thing. I don't have to work hard at it.
Yeah.
And so when that happens, suddenly the love that I lost shows back up in my life, and we end up together, and you know, it's been a beautiful thing because she comes from the same space.
Right.
And it's a divine masculine, divine feminine thing. Without these two, there's none.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, you know, together we are on this journey together because it's always been about music for me. She's been my inspiration for almost every song I wrote. And if you listen to my older stuff, it's about longing and feeling heard and, you know, all the ego traps and stuff. with a little hint of, oh, the world's going to be a better place type thing. And now it's just about love. So now I don't have to go into those darker spaces. I can go into kind of the healing spaces with it. I don't know if I answered you. My head.
You did. You told me the journey, and it goes right along with how I think, right? And how when I say things like things are perfectly placed and nothing, you are given lessons until you learn these lessons, and you know there are no mistakes, and you get to. When you get here, right, how we talked about love and life and how it brought you here, when you get here and you can kind of look back, you're like, I had to take that journey. Because if I didn't take that journey and go through that, I wouldn't, I mean, I might sound woo-woo now too, but I wouldn't vibrate at a certain level. And then, you know, attraction attracts, you know, like vibration attracts that same vibration. So if you stay here in this place, that is all you're going to see, because that's all that's going to enter like your realm. So as you had to go through that. And I think a little like life, little blessing gift was, because sometimes people find that, but they didn't have it before, right? But apparently your place was like, you had to like plop there, get that seed to then bring you back after all the chaos and journey goes. So yeah, totally.
So the path isn't straight.
The
path goes crazy like this. And then when you learn the things you need to learn, you start to get in sync with your path. And then it's not like life is perfect. It will always be a challenge, but it feels like the weight is lifted most of the time. I'm really blessed. And I remind myself every day how lucky I am. And so then in gratitude, I say gratitude is the light that leads our lives. So when we stay in a gratitude, you know, vibration, I mean, I'm sure, you know, people, I looked at this, thought it was woo-woo for years and like, oh, this is just whatever. But actually there's science behind it.
Yeah.
Where are you vibrating? You know, it's a frequency. Think of yourself as like we're doing now, like it's you are a TV station or a radio station. You are sending out a vibration and you're receiving a vibration, right? So it's a big mind game. And you've got to go positive. You've got to think positive right now. And I'll tell you what, in the world right now, we need everybody on board. Do your work, do your inner work, and let's start vibrating high, because we've got to get through all these challenges, and we've got to make sure that that we're not going with fear, because fear makes us do mean things to other people.
It does.
We've got to go with love, because when we do that, we see the other person as the reflection of ourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We are mirroring and reflecting all the time. And if you do your job, you got a nice clean mirror, right? And then people see themselves in you. And what I think about now with the music is like, if I do a really good job with the song, maybe it's a good mirror for somebody, and then they can you know, heal themselves a little bit, and they can, oh, that's like me, or whatever, you know, and get something out of it. So I think our job is, as creative people, is to create a nice clean mirror. Like you're being very brave, and you talk about all your stuff with people, and you know, you're getting at the heart of their issues sometimes. And you don't, and of course, you probably know that that's what you're doing sometimes.
You know, we're all blonde, Marshall. I mean, there is something in there. It's not all by accident.
Yeah.
You know that I so believe this. So like to my core, I tell this story a lot, is that I had this like favorite restaurant in town. I had like every meeting there. I was there all the time. I spent a lot of money at this place. And then I met the owner. She was a bitch. She was not nice. And then I met, like, she was very self-serving and just like pompous. And then I met like one of her employees who and they were like, it's so difficult to like live here. And I was like, I can't consume this food and spend my money in this place because that's everything that I put into my body is like a reflection of what I want and how I want to be. And then even down to my money, like it's part of who I am. And because I love it and I like the food, that is coming from a place of that icky side, right? That self-serving side, that ego side of me thinking that it's not going to affect how I am, I mean, so I absolutely believe everything that you're saying, that the people that are listening to you are going to receive that energy no matter how they listen. And the people that put out from an icky place, that is exactly what people are going to receive and accept. And people don't always do this, but it's very easy. Then let me rephrase that. It's very easy to people to say, I'm doing this, but.
Yeah.
Well, that but is the reason why you're not supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. If there's a but, then it negates everything in front of it.
Yeah. Like, they're a really good person, but.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anybody to ever say to me, Danny is a really good person, but. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is the but? Like, can I fix the butt? Can I work on it? Tell me what my butt is. Oh.
Totally. Yeah, I get that.
Oh, so, okay. But before, oh my God, I could talk to you forever, but I just looked that we are over time. So before I let you go,
okay,
I ask that you answer this, my last question, with the first thing that comes to your mind. You don't even have to like go into detail why you think that, just boom, they're out. In this moment right now, Marshall, what does love mean to you?
Love is not living in fear.
Perfect. Perfect. I love your answer. It is you. I can always tell, or you can always tell the people that just do it, or the people that like think about it. And I'm like, don't think about it. Love might mean to you, because I feel like it's a flowing like entity. It changes all the time. So it might be like, love means to me right now courage. Or someone said to me, what do you love about me? And I'm always like, oh, there's so much kindness. It was like the first thing that came to my mind. There were so many other things I loved about this person, but kindness was the first thing that came to mind. So in that moment, that must be what I either need to receive or someone else needs to receive, but it's that where you are in that place. So that's my perception of love.
Totally. Love is the energy of creation. So it's an energy. The universe is made out of love because it's expanding all the time.
Yeah.
It's made out of fear and hate. Yeah. It's about creating, not destroying.
So true. So true. This has been a pleasure. But actually, before we go, where can people find your music? Like, should we follow you? How do we follow you? How do we get to know you more? Because now I might need to stalk you in the most positive way. Most positive way.
In the most positive way. Oh, I'm on Spotify, but I've got an older album there. I do have a song that's going to be on this album called "That's How It Starts." So you can go to Spotify, search my name. Facebook, same thing. It's Facebook Marshall Potts Music, and Instagram is Marshall Potts Music, and the website. Just go to marshallpotts.com. You want to see what's going on.
Do you do like on your social media stuff, like Marshall Potts thought of the day? Because I really kind of now I'm like, I wonder what he's thinking. Or you and your girl, like what is? I don't know her name. I feel like I'm just calling her your girl. Like, do you guys do stuff like that? Because now I'm like, I want to follow your journey.
Well, like when I had my awakening, on my it's my private page, but I'll start sharing it on my music page, Marshall Potts Music. I just started creating a bunch of memes with the thoughts I woke up with. I started that. Well, that was 2013 on, and I did have lots of epiphanies and stuff, and maybe it will help someone.
Yeah.
I'll start sharing some of those because I've already got them down there. And I'll do some current ones. You know how it is when you wake up. Here's a secret. When you wake up in the morning, just as you leave sleep, okay, and just before you're fully awake, that's that's your opportunity to learn something.
Mm.
Because you're dreaming all night, and then whatever's on your mind, and then you can, if you listen to the quiet voice, see, that's the loud voice is your ego. The quiet voice is your heart or your soul trying to tell you what to do. And it'll come out, and it will tell you little epiphanies if you bother to listen for it. You have to have a quiet mind, and we naturally have a quiet mind when we're just waking up. So
I love that visual that it gave me, because normally when I'm like coming out, that's when I when I pray, whatever's on my heart. Yeah. But I'm doing, right? I'm coming out, and then I'm doing what's on my heart. I'm going to try to implement just being like in state, just like staying in state before I take that. I'm going to put that into practice. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll see how it changes me. I'll keep you guys posted up there. If you want to know or not, I don't know, but it'll happen. Oh, thank you again for sharing everything about your life and who you are and the journey that you have been on and where it's brought you. I really, truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. And to everybody else out there, remember, as always, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, we will see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.